this is Sally's pill schedule, and I have a card for each of her different medications because I write down, she has to have it in the morning and in the night for all three of them. And so then I write down the time, I have the person who gave it to her initial it, and then I have the day, the date. That's so we always know that she's gotten her pills, she's gotten them on time, and if we have any question about her previous dose, we can go back to the person who gave it to her and ask. So this morning at 5 a.m. she got enalapril, and what I do is the night before I wrap the pill in a little pill pocket and put it in this container and set it right by his place. Not that he won't forget, but not that he will forget, let me rephrase that, but because he is busy and it's like actually running out the door at 5 a.m. So it just saves him time of having to prepare it. He can just give it to her as he's leaving the house. And then 7 a.m. she gets furosemide. And what I do is I get it prepped the night before her 7 a.m. dose. I set my alarm on my phone, and I have this sitting on my headboard because Sally sleeps with us. My alarm goes off, I give her her pill, and I go back to sleep for an hour or so. Sometimes longer than an hour. Like today, I overslept. But anyways, so that's her 7 a.m. And then about the time I get up and they've had their breakfast, it's time for Sally's morning dose of this one, Pimbobendin. And she gets 2 of those in the morning and then 1 at night. So and then for the evening doses, I pretty much always give her the evening doses, and I have alarms set on my phone for 5, 7, and 9 because, you know, I get busy through the day and I am bad about forgetting things. So then that's what I do. I just set timers on my phone. When they go off, I give her her 5 o'clock pill at 5, her 7 at 7, and her 9 at 9. And she's on a low-fat, low-sodium diet, which is very difficult to find treats and things that are low-fat and have no added salt. So these pill pockets, which work fabulously, have too much fat in them. She doesn't get a whole pill pocket. She maybe gets 3/4 of a one. Well, I would say probably a whole one per day, per 24-hour period. But I found on chewy.com some low-fat, they're called them pill wraps, and I ordered those. And so as soon as those come in, I'm going to switch her off of the pill pockets onto the pill wraps. And then in the evenings, she gets half a teaspoon of this, and this is basically just a potassium supplement because she's on a diuretic and she can lose potassium. So just as a preventative, basically, she gets this, and it doesn't hurt her. I mean, even if she doesn't have a potassium deficiency, it does not hurt her to get a half a teaspoon of this per day. And they did test her potassium when she first went in. She was low, and then so they started giving her this, and then when they discharged her, it was at normal levels. So the vet said to just continue with a small dose because she was getting a full teaspoon a day, just to give her half a teaspoon a day as a maintenance. So that's what we're doing. And so because we couldn't hardly find any low-fat, low-sodium, or no salt added treats, Olivia made these for Sally last night. They're basically pumpkin, flour, honey, and peanut butter powder, but we made sure the peanut butter powder did not have any added salt, and water and egg, and that's it. That's all that's in these. So that one batch made a lot of cookies, and Scott left a note that said, Sally loves the cookies. I need to feed my worms. As you can see, I fed them on this side, and when I fed them, it was rounded up. I bury their food, and it's all sunk down now, and some of the stuff that I gave them, I think tomato seeds and I don't know what all, have sprouted. So I'll just pull those up and bury them, and the worms will eat those too. The white powder that you see on the top is diatomaceous earth. I sprinkle that on every so often because it keeps unwanted bugs out of my my worm bin. So I'm going to go ahead and feed them on this side today, and I like to dig a big hole. You can see it's so interesting that I gave them some tomatoes, and the only thing that's left is like this papery husk. They do the same thing with potatoes. It's very interesting. I didn't realize the skins would stay like that. So I dig a pretty deep hole because I give them quite a bit. And you don't see any worms over here because they're all over on this side. That's why you feed them one side to the other every other time. So I just have vegetable scraps from doing, just making salads, tomatoes that got a little bit iffy, stuff like that. There's a little bit of extra in the bottom of this compost bucket, so I need to use 2 hands to get that out. Alright, there we go. So what I do is, even though you can see that some of this is really starting to decompose already, what I typically do is I keep my compost bucket in the refrigerator because I don't want to feed moldy food to my worms. I don't know that that would harm them at all. I just don't want to do it. So I keep the compost bucket in my refrigerator, and whenever I, clean vegetables, like you saw cucumber peels and lettuce and things like that in there, I just throw it in the compost bucket in my fridge, and then when it gets full, I bring it down and feed it to my worms. And then, like you can kind of see, the bucket's kind of gross. So what I'll do is, if it gets really, really gross, I'll scrub it out with hot soapy water. Otherwise, I just kind of rinse it out and I put it back in my refrigerator. And so that's how I take care of my bugs. My worms, they're not bugs. I take care of my worms that way. And then, since I just fed them, just put fresh scraps in, I will leave the lid off of this bin today because the act of it decomposing creates a lot of moisture, and you don't want your worm farm to get too wet. So that's how I take care of them, and it's been doing really well. And look at how beautiful that rich, that's a lot of worm castings. There's still some like coconut. I use that coconut core stuff that you soak, and it gets, like, you use it for starting seeds and stuff. I use that as bedding, and they eat that. They eat it. They use it as food, and then they also, just live in it, and they turn it into this really dark, rich stuff, and my plants just love it. Well, good morning, friends. It is still technically morning, although it is almost noon. I have been kind of busy this morning. I did my chores, as you saw, and I had my cup of tea, and I'm going to be making myself some lunch here in a little bit. I think I'm going to make one of those strawberry lemonade smoothies that I talked about in my grocery haul. And so I just wanted to give just a quick update on Miss Sally here. As you can see, she's home. She came home on Thursday, and Thursday was kind of rough. I was a little concerned. She seemed very restless, and She was not eating properly, but her respirations were good. She wasn't breathing too heavy. But I don't know, I just thought something was up with her. And I'm not sure if what they fed her when she was in the hospital. They had mentioned chicken and baby food. So she wasn't, I don't think she was getting dog food. I think she was just getting people food in the hospital. And so when she came home and I offered her dog food, she kind of turned her nose up at it. So Friday, Olivia and I made a big old batch of homemade dog food, which is basically cooked chicken, cooked brown rice, frozen mixed vegetables, and nothing else. No salt, nothing. So we started feeding her that, and she just gobbles it up. She loves it. And so that's good. And then I think what her problem was Thursday was just, kind of like the shock of being away from home for 3 days, 4 days actually, and 3 nights. And, just kind of reacquainting herself with Oliver and with the house and everything. Because then on Friday, after we gave her homemade dog food, she's just flourished. She looks so good. She likes to lick, and when she's content, she licks. Whoop, sneeze. So, oh my goodness. She got something up her nose. But anyway, as you saw there, she was licking, and she licks her own feet and her armpit, and yeah. So all's well in Sally's world when she's doing that. This morning, earlier, I showed you her regimen of pills, and so that's gonna be something we'll be doing, hopefully for the next 2 years, because that's the vet said 6 months to a year, but from what we've read online, they can live up to 2 years with this condition. So that is what we are striving for. Took her to our regular vet yesterday, and he said she looks really good. He did note that her heart murmur was significantly worse, and which is what we already knew. I had a bunch of questions for him, and he was able to answer those questions. He did say she needs to be on low fat, low sodium. I already talked about that earlier. And he said just to keep doing what we're doing, and there's really nothing else that we can do. Limit her activity. I did ask if we could go camping, or if she could go camping with us, and he said yes. In fact, she would be happier with us than if we were to board her somewhere or have someone come and stay with her. And as you saw in one of my previous videos, we did find a stroller for her, so because she can't go on long walks and stuff like that. So we are planning on taking her camping with us this fall. Yeah, so she's doing as well as can be expected, considering the condition that she has that's incurable and is fatal. But like I said before, I'm not thinking about that. We are taking it one day at a time, and as of today, she is doing fantastic, and there's no reason to think we can't have her for a long time yet. That's what, like I said, that's what we're hoping and we're praying for. So if you think about little Sally, maybe every time you see one of my videos and you think about her, give a little prayer for longevity in this, and that she continues to do well. Yeah, it's sad when our pets age and have age-related problems. She's had this heart murmur for a really long time. I can't remember when they first detected it, but she was a fairly young dog at that time, and so I'm beginning to wonder if maybe it was something that she was born with. Could have been something that she was born with. I don't know. They did not detect it as a newborn, like puppy, when we first took her to her first puppy visit, but it was soon after that. I would have to say she was probably, I don't know, 5 years old, maybe, when it was detected, and which is young. So anyway, that's the little Sally update. I'm gonna go fix that smoothie now. I will show you how I do that. And then after that, I've got a little bit of cleaning and straightening up to do. I changed the sheet on the love seat last night because it was just so covered in sand and fur, I couldn't stand it anymore. But I do need to change the sheet on the couch, and all the blankets and things need to go down in the laundry. So I need to get that tidied up. I need to fix my bed and tidy my bedroom. And then this afternoon, we're gonna go on a little road trip just to a nearby, it's not that far away, farm where we get our sweet corn every year. And Olivia and I are going to start processing sweet corn for the freezer. So let's go eat. I'm starving and it's almost noon. For this smoothie, I'm going to use 1 container of lemon Greek yogurt, dairy-free. And then I have some frozen strawberries that I froze myself. I don't think these came from my garden because basically all the ones we got from our garden this year we just ate fresh. But I bought these from Walmart and processed them and put them in the freezer. And I'm not sure how many. I'm just going to put all of them in because, you know, this is my lunch after all. So then for the protein, because you always want to have protein with a meal, I'm going to use some of this organic protein, unsweetened, and it smells really good. It almost smells like vanilla, but a serving is 2 scoops, but I only ever put 1 scoop in. I find if I put 2 scoops in, the texture of my smoothie is not very good. It kind of has like a grainy texture to it, which I don't like. So I just put 1 scoop of the protein powder in. And then also for protein, I put in hemp seeds. Now I love hemp seeds, so I put a good 2 tablespoons. Actually, I think I'm just going to put the rest of those in there. Probably about 3 tablespoons. I also put chia seeds in. Those are a good source of fat, and I do think they have protein in them as well. And I just put 1 tablespoon of chia seeds in. And then for some healthy fats, I use this MCT powder. Now this does have fiber in it as well, and since I put fiber in my tea this morning, I'm only going to put about a 1/2 scoop of this in because I don't want to cause any upset. And then to beef up the lemon flavor and to add some sweetness, I use 2 scoops of this Ultima. It is an electrolyte drink mix, and it's sweetened with stevia. So there are 0 calories and 0 carbs. And it's just really, really good. I love it. But it says you're only supposed to drink 2 servings a day, which would be 2 scoops. Probably because they don't want you overdosing on potassium or magnesium or whatever's in here. So this will be my serving, my allotted electrolytes for the day. I like to put 2 scoops of that in there. And then for my liquid, I'm going to be using this unsweetened coconut milk. And so I'm going to put that in. I'm going to mute the sound when I blend it because of course it's going to be really loud. And then I will check for sweetness. If it is not sweet enough for me, I will add a couple squirts of this stevia. And I really like my smoothies thick, so if it's not thick enough for me, I will add some ice. I just tasted it. It's really good, but it's still a little bit tart, so I'm going to add just a squeeze of the sweet drops in there. And I am going to add some ice to it. along with my smoothie, I'm going to have these 2 clumps. These are supposed to be muffins, and it was a low-carb recipe that I tried, and they taste really, really good, but they do not look good at all, and I don't know what happened. The only thing that we figured is maybe there was a typo in the recipe, and it was supposed to be baking powder instead of baking soda, because they did not rise at all, and they did not, I don't know. So I'm not giving up on the recipe. I'm going to try it again, but I'm going to do it differently next time. Once I get the recipe perfected, I will share it. But yeah, like I said, they taste really good, but they do not look good, and they certainly don't look like muffins. There's the couch done. It kind of looks like a grandma couch. What I'm trying to do is just use fitted sheets because it works so much better. Flat sheets just don't work well as covers. And I'm looking for, I need twin size, because that flowery one is a twin size and it fits perfect on there. But unfortunately, I don't have very many twin size fitted sheets. So that's what I'm going to be looking for at garage sales and thrift shopping. Problem with that is most of the time sheets are sold in sets. I don't really need the flat sheets, but I do need the fitted sheets. I just need like 1 or 2 more sets, and I'd like them to be a neutral color, not patterned like that. But we will see what we can do. That's the best I could do today. And like I said, that one I changed last night. I do need to straighten it and tuck it a little bit better. But there's that. So I'm going to get these floors swept in here because I can feel the dog fur and the sand on my feet. And then I got to go get that corn. It's already 1:45, so I got to get that done. I'm on my way to get corn and I had to get gas. $70 to fill up my tank. That is ridiculous. Oh, I cannot hardly wait till things change in this country. Hopefully they will in another year. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and end this video today. We ended up getting 15 packages of corn in the freezer. I put 2 cups of corn in each package. So we got 30 cups of corn, actually 31 cups of corn approximately, because I saved out a cup for our supper tonight, out of 5 dozen ears, so that's pretty good. Tomorrow I'm going to go back and I think I'm going to get 4 more dozen, and then that should be enough to pretty much last us through the winter, because we don't eat corn every day, obviously. Alright friends, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye friends.